Did you know that there were 9 parts of speech? Here's what they are and how they are used in a sentence. Welcome to our English channel, where we make learning fun and exciting. In this video, we are going to learn verbs. A verb is a word we use to describe a state, an action, or occurrence. There are 11 types of verbs, and these are action verbs, helping, also known as auxiliary verbs, stative verbs, transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, linking verbs, regular verbs, irregular verbs, phrasal verbs, modal verbs, and infinitives. Action verbs are used to refer to physical actions that are performed with bodies or objects, like run, swim, help, jump, sing, and feed. Danny is running. Running is a physical action. Danny is using his legs and arms to run. Auxiliary verbs help the main verb and are also called helping verbs. With auxiliary verbs, we can write sentences in different tenses, moods, or voices. They also help the main verb to make questions and negative sentences, like be, also known as am, is, and are, have, do, can, and will. Celine can dance. In this sentence, can is the auxiliary verb and helping the verb dance to give the meaning of ability. Celine is dancing. In this sentence, is the auxiliary verb and helping the verb dance to form the present continuous tense. Stative verbs refer to conditions or states of being. We use stative verbs to describe things like qualities, states of existence, opinions, beliefs, and emotions. Like love, want, own, have, and resemble. Aisha wants a cup of coffee. In this sentence, wants is the stative verb, and it tells us Aisha's need of drinking coffee. Transitive verbs must have a direct object to make sense properly,
A direct object can be noun, a pronoun, or a noun phrase.
like ate, bought, and love. Let's see some examples. This is Frank. He is the subject of the sentence and he performed the action. He ate a delicious hamburger. This is the delicious hamburger. It is the direct object of the sentence. It received the action because Frank ate it. Let's imagine we haven't got a direct object in the sentence and the sentence is just Frank ate. The verb ate will not make sense because it needs a direct object. Frank ate what? Frank ate a delicious hamburger. Here's another example for transitive verbs. If I say I love without a direct object, it won't make sense. I love what or who? I love my students, of course. Unlike transitive verbs, intransitive verbs don't need a direct object to make sense properly, like fly, slept, and playing. Birds fly. In the sentence, the verb fly doesn't need a direct object to make sense properly. Children are playing. In this sentence, the verb playing doesn't need a direct object to make sense properly. I don't have to say children are playing with bricks and dolls, I can just say children are playing. Linking verbs connect the subject of a sentence to an adjective, a noun, or a pronoun that completes the meaning of the verb. They don't show an action, but rather describe the subject, like is, smell, taste, and seem. This is an ostrich. In the sentence, the linking verb is connects the subject this to a noun, an ostrich. It doesn't show an action, but describes the subject. Ayşe seems happy. In the sentence, the linking verb seems connects the subject Ayşe to an adjective happy. It doesn't show an action, but describes the subject. A verb is considered a regular verb if its past and past participle forms end in ed, d, or the variant t, like jump, slip, try, and lend. Every verb has three forms. The first one is the base form. We also call it verb 1. The second one is the past form, and we also call it verb 2. And the last one is the past participle form, and we also call it verb 3. So regular verb jump becomes jumped and jumped. Slip becomes slipped and slipped. Try becomes tried and tried. And lend becomes lent and lent. A verb is considered an irregular verb if its past and past participle forms don't end in ed, d, or the variant t. The spelling of these verbs changes dramatically or may not change at all, like the verb be and its forms am, is, and are, eat, set, and fly. Am and is become was, are becomes were, be becomes been in past participle, eat becomes ate and eaten. Set doesn't change at all and stays as set and set. Fly becomes flew and flown. Phrasal verbs are the combinations of a verb with prepositions and adverbs that have a different meaning from the individual words used to form them, like call back, meaning return a phone call, drop in, meaning visiting while on the way somewhere, get up, meaning rise and leave bed. George called his friend back yesterday. Peter sometimes drops in to see his grandma on his way home from work. I usually get up at 7 o'clock every morning. Modal verbs are a subgroup of auxiliary verbs that are used to give a sentence a specific mood. Each modal verb is used differently and they can express concepts such as ability, necessity, possibility, or permission, like can, may, might, must, and would. When you finish your homework, you may play outside. In the sentence, the modal verb may is used for permission. We mustn't leave the baby alone. In the sentence, the modal verb must is used in its negative form to express necessity. I would go to the movies if I wasn't busy. In the sentence, the modal verb would is used to express possibility. Infinitives are derived from verbs but don't act as a verb. An infinitive of a verb is identical to the base form of the verb. They are used with to and they can act as a noun an adjective or an adverb, like to play, to ask, and to see. To play guitar in a rock band is my goal. In the sentence, to play acts as a noun, so it is a nominal infinitive. If you are looking for the best restaurants in town, Hakan is the person to ask. In the sentence, to ask acts as an adjective, so it is an adjectival infinitive. The writing in the letter was too small to see. In the sentence, to see acts as an adverb, so it is an adverbial infinitive. Now let's find verbs in this paragraph. Nouns, pronouns, adjectives, and articles are already colored. Our first verb in this paragraph is is. It's an auxiliary, linking, stative, and irregular verb. In the sentence, it acts as a linking and stative verb because it links the subject she to a noun, architect. It also refers to Aisha's job. Designs. It's a transitive and regular verb. In the sentence, it's a transitive verb because it needs a direct object, buildings, to make sense properly. Here are all the nouns, pronouns, articles, adjectives, and verbs in this paragraph. Please stay tuned for the Parts of Speech Part 6 Adverbs video. Until next time, stay happy and healthy.